CPG is a full-service data center product and service solution company. We basically serve at the mission of the end user as well as the design and build community. We work with enterprise. We have a number of government customers. We do have a secured sector. We are supporting some of the large cloud providers, both in their own facilities as well as in lease space within the wholesale market. As the industry transitions from enterprise to cloud and edge, we continue to follow the clients where they are putting their data, which is still somewhat in their own owned facilities. In the last 10 years, it's gone from heavy migration to colo, and now another sea change going to the cloud. We have different categories of approach that we do. One is critical infrastructure solutions. This is a team of folks that came out of the end user hyperscale market as end users and now apply the lessons they learned in deploying rapid, efficient, cost-effective solutions that the market is demanding. And that is on scale from containerized solutions up through modular data center builds. So that's one group. We recently bought a controls company, so we're able to do integration of BMS and DCIM into a single pane of glass, adhering to the safety and security requirements of data centers and our federal clients. There's a new product out called Secure Blocks, which is a containerized SCIF type solution for the federal market to be deployed in colo spaces as well as enterprise, whatever the application is. And we have our traditional services, which is built around the mission critical electrical gear, batteries, switch gear, breaker studies. So we have a whole gamut of ways of providing product and service to the data center market. There's a lot of similarities to data centers holistically, in the world, but the American market has always been fairly self-supported as far as production. That, of course, in the global market is changed somewhat. A lot of the American manufacturers are buying pieces, parts, and whole equipment from overseas. Our business model has historically been serving the American client, the US and Canadian client, both at home and abroad. So we've followed our clients into Europe, we've followed our clients into Asia. I think the biggest differentiator between the two markets is scale. Ashburn is kind of the benchmark that everyone compares to. I was recently at an event in Ireland, and the quote I remember is, Dublin is reaching the point of being half of Ashburn, which of course is a very large market. I heard today that someone stated that Dallas has now surpassed Northern California as the number 2 market in the US. I don't know if that's qualified or not, but there is just massive changes going on based on, again, the 3 pillars, which is fiber, power, and people. I mean, basically data requires fairly standard commodities wherever it is. Network connectivity, power, and the expertise, the technical expertise to deploy. The words you hear the most are the ones that are the most predominant in the customer and our market. So edge is not just a buzzword, it defines the point of use and proximity of compute and storage to where the data is being used. But it's the networking between the centralized cloud facilities and the edge points, which can be very small or it can be relatively significant depending on, again, what the application is. If you think of an auto plant and the amount of automation that goes on in massive industrial production, that number of data points can require a large edge data center, even though it may look in form and function like a more of a central facility. It actually is just out on the edge. Water usage for a time was thought of as almost free, that you could exchange water for electricity. There was a period where water was looked at as something to get away from completely. So there was a waterless movement, and obviously everybody's environment, wherever a facility is located, it's going to have to take into account the cost of power, the cost of water, but it's constantly changing. So people are definitely still looking at water, and water is a viable alternative to peak power.